Anton De Pasquale, who suits up in the red pace entry that Rubens Barrichello drove at the first round at Sandown just a few weeks ago. Cars are on the grid. We're getting set for the qualifying heat. Here is your grid, and it was a 1:41.2 in qualifying this morning for Anton De Pasquale. He was 500s clear of Tom Randall. That's your front row. John Martin and Will Brown square off on row number 2. 560 horsepower at 8,000 revs, ready for blast off, and it's Randall by a mile who gets the jump. We saw big moves from Macro in the field as well, and James Winslow in the Astron Tech entry. But down to turn number 1, it's going to be Randall. We're on top of the Boost Mobile entry of James Golding down to turn number 1.
Oh, I was away for the Sandown round. This is the sound that has echoed up through the commentary box here of these things getting unleashed. The thunder is unbelievable. I now know what everyone's been talking about. I've seen them in a demonstrational sense right throughout the Shannon's Nationals this year. To see them racing on track together, unleashed like this, is tremendous. Sneaking up the inside, that's Macro on the Astron Tech entry. Little loose, that's Winslow, catches it, good job. For him, look at him there. He looks strong in that boost entry, doesn't he? So De Pasquale has 0.6 up his sleeve over Martin. It's been a really nice... Oh, sideways, Brown! Brown catches it! But that has allowed James Golding straight through. That'll get the heart started. Oh, man.
Great recovery at the same spot we were having issues during qualifying earlier today with. So he slots back in behind and heads down towards the final turn.
Next one, here's the slide for Brown. Look at that!
That was huge. Brown is struggling with this car still. He's seesawing at that wheel. Still not happy. He was frustrated after practice yesterday here with both his cars. Well, he turned the Hyundai around during race number 1. I'm not sure if the gremlins are out of this KMC Wheels car at the moment. He's got Macro just behind him and Winslow. Through the final turn we go to complete another lap. Tom Randall, well, he's out of here. Already down at turn number 1. De Pasquale still runs in second position. That cool they sound.
They sound so cool. Numbers aren't quite what we saw in qualifying, but let's see if they can edge them down as the race goes on. So a bit of defensive stuff there from Macro, so that's not ideal, the line that he had through turn 1 then, and that gives Brown just the breath, the breathing space that he needs once again.
These tyres, these Hoosier tyres get better as the race evolves here. You're watching James Winslow now. British-born racer who's been out here many times, and off the track goes Macro. He's done it again. We saw him go off in qualifying today, and that's a big lose for car 23. So down the hill they go through turn 13, 14. That's John Martin, also doing double duties today. He's another guy with years and years of open wheel experience over in Europe as well. He was a former Super League Formula champion for Australia back in 2011 as well. Former Australian Formula Ford champion back in 2006. He picked up 8 wins that year on his way to winning the series. And doing a fine job here at the moment. He chases Anton De Pasquale for second position, but Tom Randall, 1:41.62. We are around the qualifying mark now, set early this morning.
That is mighty from Randall, who really had his eyes and his heart set on pole position after dominating Friday practice. Now, that didn't happen. De Pasquale snatched it right at the very end of the session. Randall's making a statement here, isn't he?
Around to the final turn. Class act all day. From the minute the lights went out, he had the best start, led the field through turn number 1, slides his way out of the final turn, and Tom Randall grabs the checkered flag in the qualifying race number 1 here today of S5000, and will do it by a monster margin here, over 9 seconds. We'll take a look at your grid for qualifying race 2. UK-born racer James Winslow starts in the Astron Tech entry alongside Tim Macro. Ricky Capo starts out on position number 3 alongside James Golding. As the lights come on, 10 S5000 cars, and it's blast off in qualifying race number 2. Again, it's a start from James Golding from that second row. Straight down the middle is Tim Macro. Winslow in second position. Martin in that blue and yellow AGI Sport entry will drop back into 4th position because Golding in the Boost Mobile entry is trying to stay on the outside. There's Tom Randall trying to make up a position down the inside and on the dirt here.
De Pasquale looks like he's in a better position. This is aggressive stuff from Thomas Randall.
And it's Macro from Golding, Winslow. That's the top 3. And already a 5-car scrap developing through turn 9 and 10 now.
Look at this. Martin looks aggressive as he tries to find a way past the Astron Tech entry in the hands of James Winslow. They get a little loose out of there, still on those cold Hoosier tyres. They're lively. So much power, 560 horsepower in fact from those Coyote V8 engines, and they sound magnificent. Macro has loads of experience with these cars. We've seen him throughout the year demonstrating the capability of S5000, but in real terms, Matt, he doesn't have a lot of experience at the Bend Motorsport Park. Handful of laps in a Radical, that's about it.
Yeah, exactly right. But he's been the test and development driver for the S5000 category with the single car that was launched late last year. It's been doing demonstration laps at various circuits around the country, but now we're in real race trim as the first lap is in the books. Macro Golding right on the back. Gee, I've been impressed with Golding. He's going for the lead here on the dirty side of the track. Gets it done, but Macro will fight back here and repays the favour. Good move.
Ripper racing. Great stuff by both of them. Replay, here we go.
So he pulls out. There's the dirt from when Randall come back onto the circuit, and he knew he was in a bit of trouble here, and Macro just waited to pick up the pieces. He runs behind James Winslow as down the inside. A phantom look maybe from Randall on Di Pasquale as they try to move up through the field here.
This is good stuff. Give you a sense of the speed here. Listen to this. The awesome thunder of S5000. Thomas Randall said to me, you can expect speeds around 280 k's an hour in the main straight. Now that's good. Capo's been able to get by him. Good stuff from Ricky Capo in the 34.
And tries to cover him off and does it nicely down there. So he splits Di Pasquale and Tom Randall now. These guys just outside the top 5, while Tim Macro has less than a second on Golding. John Martin sets a 1:43.96. We're still about 2 seconds away from the times we saw yesterday. But we know these Hoosier tyres get better as the race evolves.
We're tenths away yesterday from an outright lap record. Fastest we've seen from an S5000 car here, when nearly at the end of the race, Thomas Randall got down into a low 1:41. He said prior to this race, Matt, and off goes Winslow. Now that was from a strong third place as well. 8 laps to go this time by. Fastest lap though, Macro responds. He can tell, he can see in the mirrors. Look at it in the background, bit of dirt being kicked up there, and Capo's going to get by Di Pasquale. Awesome stuff from Ricky Capo.
Was it too early? No, he'll get this done nicely. He passed him right in the middle of the straight, and that had to be for the mistake off the exit.
The fastest lap of the race belongs to Macro with a 1:42.97. It's 0.91 between he and James Golding at the moment. Golding is responding. Look at this here. Tom Randall gets it done, and it looked a little awkward for Di Pasquale. Off the corner did it, so...
Bit of a lock up, and that was enough. They bumped wheels on the exit too as well.
Here we go. This is the move on Braden Wilmington, and it's James Winslow getting past. That's for 9th place. This will be good for Braden. I mean, he's talked, Gary said to me before the race started, his dad, that he's loving it. It's all about getting comfortable in the car and making inroads, just finding the big chunks of time they need, and that can only come with miles and experience, Matt.
Well, he only qualified with a 46.8, Braden Wilmington. He's done a 45.7 today, so already he's improving.
Up in front, Macro about to take it out from James Golding. Martin has made some progress here. It's down to a second between Martin and Golding in that fight for third, but it looks like it's all done. Race number 2 of the weekend goes to Tim Macro, with the feature to come this afternoon. Well done to James Golding, and Martin rounds out the 3.
Great result. Tom Randall starts from pole position here today. The Penrite DeVille Biscandia sponsored number 49 joins Anton Di Pasquale on the front row. John Martin and James Golding start on row number 2. 560 horsepower about to be unleashed for 16 laps. A whisker under 80 kilometres of racing. Oh, Di Pasquale falters a bit at the start. He gets away, but it gives a free kick to Tom Randall straight away, who just parks it down the middle and moves back towards the traditional part of the racing line to turn number 1. Here comes Tim Macro down the inside. He's side by side with James Golding. Avoids a bit of contact. Martin slots in behind, and Will Brown is also there. But Di Pasquale already on the back of Tom Randall. Everybody's safely through. Let's jump on board. The pace sponsored number 99, the car that Rubens Barrichello drove at the Sandown round this weekend in the hands of ADP.
And he looks racy, doesn't he? Tries to look up the inside. Randall's got it covered and locks the brake. They make contact. That's all good for Tim Macro and for James Golding. Not good. Randall now slots in behind these guys. He's got all that work to do again. Di Pasquale Pasquale to the front. Look at him dance.
That was brewing from turn number 3. Turn 6 has been the trigger point all weekend long. But puts Di Pasquale back into the lead, so it kind of balanced out after that start, or he just faltered away a bit. Car 99 leads Tim Macro to the top of the hill here at turn 13. Taking away that tyre bundle for good measure too. One of these hit that, it would not move any further.
And Randall is behind Will Brown. He's back in 5th place. On board with James Golding here now. And that's for 2nd place. Looks up the inside. Oh, they touch! They make contact. That'll be game over. I reckon the damage to the left rear might be bad for him as well, for Macro. What a shame. Golding had a look. He's done a really good job all weekend long. Opportunity knocked and he went for it.
And the right front will be knocked out. You won't be able to see with Golding's helmet in the way from his onboard camera. That's the 2nd incident, and there's many laps down there at turn number 6, and that blows the race wide apart now.
Now Macro is out. That was amazing. I thought there would be damage to the left rear. He's tried to keep going, and it seems as though that's what the attention is for there. So unfortunately, Macro, like Golding, is out of this race.
So here it is. It was on the inside on the Actron Air replay and just couldn't get the Boost mobile car pulled up in time and contact with the Macro Motorsport car.
Let's have another look at it here.
Just enough dirt on the track down there still as well.
Safety car has been called, so ANCAP safety car has been deployed. Di Pasquale bolts, that car that was in the hands of Rubens Barrichello at Sandown.
They're trying to put some heat back into these tyres. Well, they've got the advantage of this 1 kilometre main straight. Di Pasquale leads Martin, who leads Brown, who leads Randall, and the rest of the field into turn number 1.
Anton Di Pasquale, 41.51, fastest lap of the race so far. There's the position change. Maybe did Brown get in there at just a fraction hot? I'd need to look at that again.
Here's Di Pasquale. 10 seconds, remember, to be added to his time. The margin, 2 seconds.
Was that Randall battling Martin in the background there? Just keep an eye on P2. Look, he's close. He's close for position 2. So Randall has cranked it up here. 41.45. This is an absolute statement by Anton Di Pasquale. He leads by 3.9 seconds. He needs 10. He probably won't get it with less than 3 to go. But he's saying, look, what about that for a lap time around the Ben Motorsport Park? Oh no, off goes Michael Gibson. WM Waste Management entry. Now, he'd, I think, been very close to his best lap of the weekend. He was down in position number 7. That'll give P7 to Braden Wilmington.
Di Pasquale, 1:41.4 is the quickest lap of the race. He went back-to-back fastest laps and is looking likely to leave here with the fastest lap next to his name for the S5000 category until we return next year in the series of 2020.
Might have got a penalty for the contact, but what a talent Anton Di Pasquale is. Huge future in front of him in touring car terms in this country. Did those hard yards early on, tried to make an open wheel career in Europe, came back under the tutelage of people like Paul Morris, who's been texting me during the race. He's gone on to do some tremendous things. He will greet the checkered flag, but sadly he will not win this race. A 10-second penalty kicks in. That means John Martin wins S5000 here. Our feature race at the Ben Motorsport Park.
Winners are grinners. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. We've been kind of working towards this. Obviously not really the way we wanted to do it. Obviously not finishing first on the road, but you know, Anton was pretty quick. Feel the boys did an awesome job this weekend. Sort of struggled a bit on Friday, and we've been tuning it up the whole way through. So it's credit to them guys, and obviously everyone that's helped support me and helped me make this round possible. So up until the last minute, it wasn't really happening. So yeah, pleased we did it now.